Good afternoon. My name is Ruth Guzman. I'm a student from Ecuador. I'm in the Faculty of Management and Marketing in the career of International Economy. Today, I want to talk about science and technology in Latin America in the last centuries. In the last decade of the 19th century and the years preceding the First World War were full of changes in the field of global scientific and technological activity. Some discoveries and inventions took place in the foundations for the evolution of industry and services in the 20th century. We can remember some inventions very important until nowadays, like Röntgen with his discovery of the X-rays. The Curie husbands discovered radium and plutonium, the discovery of their moons, the composition of the chlorophyll. Einstein developed his theory of relativity, and few cases more. In the field of technology, diesel, this big company built the oil engine. Ford manufactured the T model car. The Wright brothers made the first fly-by plane, and some cases more. Processes were carried out to manufacture products such insulin, synthetic detergents, silicones, etc. The most important changes that occurred in this period are the professionalization of research, and institutions changed the way of producing knowledge and making innovations. In Europe and the United States, the industry and the universities began to have a more near connection between them, trying to develop professionals in areas such as engineering, electrical, mechanical. All those things began to change. In this period, Europe and the United States, they were growing in a big scale. But what was occurring in Latin America? In Latin America, such crises as the political and also some cases of corruption was really destroying the society in that age. So between these big continents, they were growing. Latin America was collapsed. They was just receiving some invasions from abroad, and our technologies was stopped. I also can say that in that ages, some scientists of Europe emigrate to such countries like Brazil, Chile, Argentina, and they became to develop such fields like the medicine, such fields like also engineers. They became to build roads, railways, all those cases. But one big question that we need to do is how we can take the technology for develop our countries. I can talk about China. China is a nation that was in the past a nation of agriculture. Mostly all the population was made by people who was dedicated to the agriculture. Then what was occurring what was occurring in this time to change it? They began to take the technology of another countries as an advantage. They was watching another potencies was creating some technologies, and they took it from them, and they became to produce more, and now we have to them as the factory of the world. So some economies propose they propose that the solution for the countries that are still in development is to take some industries of another countries, because they spend money doing that For example, the United States, for to have his place in as a potential, they need to do every year or every such kind of period, they need to do new investment, they have to put more money in their economy for to create new inventions. But the countries that are still in development, they can take these inventions, they can take all those things for to improve in our countries. So Latin America should see what are the most principal areas that they need to develop. For example, if such countries of Latin America, they have a lot of resources, so the natural resources can be transformed in our continent, and they don't need to be processed in another countries. So we can take this technology from the other potencies and improve in our continent.
So how do you think the Latin American countries can cooperate to have a better improvement in the future?
Okay, I think that the countries can collaborate between them, exchanging some knowledge, for example, between the universities and the industries, for to create more students with experience in the field of the work.